Best Pixel 10 camera settings. If you are one of the lazy humans like me, you don't want to think too much about camera settings and you just want to take out your Pixel camera and take pictures, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Without going into deep details, I'm just going to show you some basic settings which you need to change in your Pixel 10 Pro or any Pixel 10 series cameras to take the best picture possible. So the first thing, open your camera app. So click here, and once you have your camera app, you have the option either for photo or video, which is right here. So we'll just go to photo, and then you're going to click on settings on the lower left, which is right here. So if you click here, then here you're going to see photo settings, and there are going to be two tabs, general and pro. So let's deal with the general first. So now more light, none, just leave it none, and top shot unavailable, no need. Timer, you can turn it on if you need it, but I have it off. And here macro focus, this is like when your camera can take pictures of an object from very close range. So it's very good for pictures like let's say a leaf or something very close, and it gives a very good cinematic pictures. So you can either keep it auto, or you can just turn it on all the time or off. I keep it auto, that way you don't have to change any settings later on. Whenever you're getting too close, it's just going to kick in automatically. Then ratio is going to be the ratio is going to be either full image 4:3 ratio, or then you have the option for 16:9. Now 16:9, what you usually see on cell phone or TV, but if you choose that ratio, the camera is going to lose some details when it takes vertical pictures. So for that reason, we're going to change it to 4.3, and most sensors are made for 4.3, and this is the default for all phone cameras or mirrorless cameras or most of the cameras. And when you're choosing 4.3, then you have more information vertically, and that way if you need to crop it, you can later on crop it to 16:9. So it's going to give you much better option if you need to change something later on. So for that reason, this is going to be your default, and leave it at 4.3. So now let's go back to pro settings here, and here you have resolution either 50 or 12. So leave it at 50 unless you want to take 100 times zoom, then you have to change it to 12. For that I have a separate video which I'm going to put in the description box below, but in general this should be 50, where it's going to give you more resolution, more information, and much better picture. Now raw or JPEG, for most of you leave it to JPEG unless you are a professional photographer and you wanted to color grade your picture, then you can change it to raw, but JPEG is the one most people would want that. Now the next one is going to be lens selection. Now you have a few selection, for example auto, and if you click here, is going to give you some manual lens selection, which you don't need for general photography. You can just leave it auto. But if you want to take control of your lens, for example the wide lens or zoom lens, or it has different lenses in this camera, then you can just look at it later on. But for most purposes, auto is just fine. Now we are going to go further details. So just click on these three dots right here, and then here it's going to give you more options. So let's say save location. So this is where it's going to save your location where you're taking the picture. This is a very important information, and you can figure out later on where you took the picture, especially handy when you're traveling. So what happened when I was traveling to many places, I forgot the location, exact location, and then later on I can just look here, and it's going to show you on camera detail on picture details that where you took that picture. So leave it on. Camera sound, I turn it off. I don't like it. If you want, you can turn it on. Device storage, doesn't matter. Camera scan suggestions, this one you can just turn it on. Just it's very good when you're scanning QR codes and documents. And then here you have framing hints. So on screen tips and tools like levelers and focus tip, you can leave it on. Then grid type, so here you can have none, 3:3 or golden ratio. So you can just turn the 3x3 on, and then where it has like to show the grid on the camera, which is very good for focusing or balance your object. So leave it at 3.3. Keep selfies as seen. I turn it off. Then guided frame, if you are visual impurity, then you can turn it on, but if you don't, then just leave it off. Camera coach preview, if you turn it on, then it's going to tell you how to take a picture, like how to put it in the frame and many other tips. So keep it on, and I'm going to show you shortly how to activate this when you're taking a picture. Now, quick access control, if you want to adjust your white balance, brightness and shadows, then if you turn it on, it's going to show on the screen. Most of us, you don't need. Volume key action, just leave it volume. If you change it, then it gives trouble, which I had it before. Palm timer. So this is a good feature. So if you show your palm, especially when you're taking a selfie or group picture, then the camera is going to start taking picture. I think it's count 1 to 3 and then start taking picture, which is a very good option. Rich color in photos. By default, this is going to be off on your camera. So what it is that if you turn this on, then the camera is going to capture more color information, which is P3 color instead of sRGB. So what happens here, that if you choose sRGB, devices which are not compliant may not be able to show any differences because it just looks the same, but it has more information. So it doesn't hurt to keep it on, and that way if you have much more flexibility with your picture, and it has more information and better color. But most of the pictures you will not even notice any differences between P2 and sRGB, but leave it on. Ultra HDR. So what happens if you turn this on, Ultra HDR brightness, then it makes kind of photo weird and it gives the halo effect. And I'm going to show you an example on the screen. It kind of ruins up the picture if there's light, or there's places, and I feel like it's not going to be even usable. So I'm going to just turn this off and just look at the example and you will know what I mean. But if you want to keep it on, you can turn it on, but some pictures are going to be ruined because the camera tries to adjust the HDR and it makes some parts where there's light too much bright or kind of contrasty, and you can tell that this is not a natural picture. So for that reason I keep it off. Auto best take, okay, this is for automatically choose the best expressions from photos. You can turn it on. This is kind of AI feature, and it takes the best pictures or someone when you are in the frame. And social media depth feature, I keep it off, you don't need it. Frequent faces, you can turn it on, but for general purposes you don't need it. Astrophotography, if you go inside you can turn it on, because then you can take pictures astrophotography, which may come in handy. So you can keep it on. And these are all for photo, and the next ones are video, for which I have a separate video. But for photo you can have this on. And remember I was telling you that AI assists photo taking. So in order to get help from AI, you have to kind of tap here on the upper right, where you can see there's camera and a plus. So if you click here, now AI is going to kick in, and then it's going to suggest you how to take that picture. Right now you cannot suggest anything because there's nothing to take, but that's how you can tap on each picture, and AI is going to guide you how to take that picture from different angles, from different framing, different way, moving left, right, up or down. So this is something you might want to play with, but in general I don't use it. So these are the settings you need to change on your phone right away to take mirrorless or DSLR camera, because this is a very good camera, and I have taken lots of pictures, and some cases it cannot really tell that if it was taken with this camera or a mirrorless camera. So changing these settings give you an advantage, and your pictures are going to look professional and excellent. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.